Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tom Bloxham, and it's my huge privilege to be Chancellor of this great university, and my privilege to welcome you all here today, particularly the graduates, to this amazing Whitworth Hall. Whitworth was an amazing inventor and a philanthropist, and the architect was Waterhouse, whose father also designed the Natural History Museum and whose uncle was the Waterhouse and Price Waterhouse Coopers, the accountants. So we're in a hall of greatness and surrounded by a number of people who will shortly become great, I'm sure. I'm Chancellor of the University, and in a strange sort of quirk of fate, the Chancellor is far less important than the Vice-Chancellor, who really runs the show around here. But the Chancellor is a wonderful privilege and a job to have. It's a voluntary, unpaid job, but it's the titular head of the university. And one of the privileges it has is to actually choose which of these ceremonies I'm able to preside over, and I particularly wanted to preside over today's ceremony. My predecessors were, as Chancellors, were Terry Leahy, who used to run Tesco's, and Anna Ford, the BBC journalist. And when I was elected to Chancellor, Anna Ford very kindly phoned me up to congratulate me and said, "Is anything I ever need to know about being Chancellor of the University of Manchester, I should feel free to phone her up and ask her." And I did say, well, there was one thing I wanted to know. She said, "What's that?" I said, "What exactly does a Chancellor supposed to do?" And she said, "Well, that's a very good question." She wasn't quite sure about it, but Bill Bryson, who was Chancellor of Durham University, once put it that a Chancellor's a bit like a bidet. Everyone wants one, and no one's quite sure what to do with one when they've got one. But my role today really is to congratulate all of you today who have won the degrees, who have worked so hard to deserve your degrees, which you're going to pick up shortly. I'd also think I'd like to congratulate all the friends and families who are here today, and I know many of you had to make great sacrifices to send the graduates to university. So perhaps the graduates would just like to join me in clapping to thank their families for all the support they've been given over the last few years. Thank you. And one of the reasons why I wanted to be here today to preside over this degree is myself 30-odd years ago, I was also in a similar hall to you as I'd done politics modern history, which was a very similar degree to I think a number of you are studying when it was over in Dover Street on the other side of the university campus. And I certainly very fondly remember my days at the university. And I remember what I was taught here. And subsequently, I've gone on to have a career running bars and nightclubs and publishing posters, and more recently running a property business called Urban Splash. And so in many ways, you'd think the things I learned studying politics wouldn't be particularly appropriate or apt or relevant. But I've actually found the life experience of coming to the university, the friends that I met, who are still, many of them are still friends, and the way that I was taught to question things and to look and ask questions and to really try and find the solutions and the answers to the problems were skills that have come in incredible use to me in subsequent life. And over the last 30 years, I've seen amazing changes to our great city of Manchester and see the city being transformed in such a wonderful manner. It was a very different city when I came here than the city you came to see. And also, I've seen this university change and develop. The merger 10 years ago was obviously a huge chance of that, and we've grown to become what was always a very good university has grown to become one of the great universities. We're now the largest single-site university in the UK. We've got the biggest student community, and in total over 25 Nobel Prize winners have worked or studied here, including, of course, the discovery of graphene most recently. Two-thirds of our research was ranked by the last research assessment exercise as world-leading or internationally excellent. And you'll be very pleased to hear that over 9 out of 10 of our graduates go straight into employment or continued studies. And we're ranked 38th in the world, 7th in Europe and 5th in the UK in the 2014 Shanghai Jiao Tong World Ranking. I think more importantly, or as importantly as all of those, I think the university has tried to give a positive role to the City of Manchester and to become much more integrated and much more involved in all sorts of ways with the City of Manchester. And so now you arrive here today and take away your degrees, and with those degrees that are recognised throughout the world will hopefully help you to go into employment or go into further training. And you'll join over 250,000 other graduates of Manchester University as alumni of this great university. And so many congratulations go to you for all the hard work that you've done to get it. But also I would remind you there's a huge privilege, and not everybody in the world has had the privilege that we've had to be able to come to a university like this and spend 3 years studying. And I would urge you that you use your degree well, not just to get a good job, but also to try to do something worthwhile with your degree. When people became citizens of ancient Athens thousands of years ago, they'd have to swear an oath that we will leave the city not less, but greater, better, and more beautiful than we found it. And I hope you'll go back to your towns, cities and countries, or especially great if you stay here in Manchester, and use what you've learnt over the last few years to actually make our world a little bit better. So congratulations once again, and remember, I hope this is not the last time you come through these doors, but the beginning of a lifelong relationship with the University of Manchester as you become our alumni. Remember, our doors are always open to you. Thank you.
Wow, what a big audience. I wish my lectures were quarter full as this. My name is Chris Orme. I am the head of the School of Social Sciences. And on behalf of all my colleagues, it is a pleasure and honour to offer congratulations to all our graduates. This magnificent Whitworth Hall was completed at the start of the 20th century and was constructed for Owens College, later to become this University of Manchester. It now stands proudly alongside the 21st century Alan Gilbert Learning Commons, and together provide an architectural reminder not only of the great value and pride we have for our history, our heritage and our traditions, but also our aspirations for the future. And today we are celebrating the success of students who have completed a range of postgraduate courses across all the social sciences. These include both one-year taught programs leading to the award of master's degrees and include up to 3 years of doctoral studies culminating in the award of PhD. The social sciences help us to analyse and thereby understand action and interaction at all different levels of society, from individuals to households, from families to local communities, from national institutions and governments to global networks. The major contribution of and the need for social sciences is to know the social world we inhabit, to explain it, and to inform public debate on it by carefully specifying what challenges we confront and how we might address those challenges to make the world a better place. At Manchester, both our staff and students fulfill this through their research on social diversity, social cohesion, poverty and inequalities, defining and measuring national well-being, the implications of living in an ageing society, climate change, changing cities and transport systems, to name but a few examples. With over 3,000 students, both undergraduate and postgraduate, over 250 academic teaching and research staff, and 50 professional support service staff, Manchester is home to one of the largest schools of social sciences in the UK, and it encompasses all the social sciences, the disciplines of economics, politics, sociology, social statistics, social anthropology, and philosophy. Our strategic research is delivered through dedicated research centres, including the Cathy Marsh Institute for Social Change, the Sustainable Consumption Institute, and the Manchester Institute for Collaborative Research on Ageing. In addition, the National Economic and Social Research Council funds our research through the Centre on Dynamics of Ethnicity and the British election study. And in the last 2 years, social science research here has received more than £15 million in new, competitively won external research grant awards. And this delivers an annual research income to us of over £5 million a year. As a school, we also spend in excess of £2 million a year to support our postgraduate students through bursaries, through studentships, through research training and development grants. And it is from these platforms that Manchester social scientists inform policy by advising local government, the Office for National Statistics, both UK and foreign national governments, including parliamentary select committees, the Houses of Parliament, the European Commission, the World Bank, foreign central banks, UNESCO, and the list goes on. Such organisations actively seek out our expertise, but all too often in the past, the impact of what we do goes uncelebrated. Well, not today at this ceremony. Social science research at Manchester, whether undertaken by our staff or undertaken by our students, makes a difference, and indeed has always done so. And the School of Social Science Arthur Lewis Building is a testament to that fact. 2015 marks the centenary of the birth of Sir Arthur Lewis, born in St. Lucia. In 1948, at the age of just 33, he was made a full professor at this university. In so doing, he became Britain's first black professor, another Manchester first, well before graphene. His most important work in development economics was undertaken here during the 1950s, and for which he received the Nobel Prize for Economics in 1979. What is perhaps less well known was his determination to put his research ideas into practice. Arthur Lewis, with his colleague Max Gluckman, then Professor of Social Anthropology, established 2 innovative social and educational centres in Moss Side, our neighbours to the university, to help improve the socio-economic status of the large Afro-Caribbean population. One still survives to this day as the West Indies Sports and Social Centre. Today, the British election study here at Manchester is at the forefront of research and provides the context for key debates in the run-up to next year's UK general election. Following hot on the heels of the Scottish referendum, the headline story this year, of course, is the UK Independence Party. And Dr. Rob Ford from our politics department has been leading the research and public communication about UKIP through his recent book, Revolt on the Right. And for this, with his co-author, he won the Political Studies Association Communicator Award. And even Nigel Farage had to admit that it is the only study that actually, in his words, gets UKIP. In economics, Professor Rachel Griffith, who is also Deputy Director of the influential Institute for Fiscal Studies, received the prestigious European Economic Association Birgit Grodel Award. This is given every even year to a European-based female economist who has made a significant contribution over their lifetime to the economics profession. This year, sociology at Manchester celebrated its 50th anniversary and is still going strong. Indeed, at the last research assessment exercise in 2008, it was the #1 sociology department in the UK. And as we eagerly await the results of the next research assessment exercise, due to be released next week, we sincerely hope that sociology, once again, will be the Christmas #1. Philosophy is a small but essential discipline in the school that speaks directly to the wider societal challenges that we face, ranging from